Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing another US House race for the 2026 elections that I am previewing. This video I'm going to be doing the 1st Congressional District in the state of Virginia. This is currently represented by Republican incumbent Rob Wittman, who has been representing this district since 2007. This is his 10th term. This district is currently listed on the 270towin.com website in their consensus rankings on a rating of likely Republican. And I want to go over this district because some election news actually I do believe has just happened out of this district where a Democrat has declared they are running for this seat. And I want to break down this district more in depth and show you how competitive this district really could be. So this district, as I mentioned, which is currently represented by Republican incumbent Rob Wittman, this first district is based in the western Chesapeake Bay area. It includes portions of suburban Richmond. Within the district are western Henrico and Chesterfield counties. Other localities in the district include Colonial Beach, Mechanicsville, and Williamsburg. The incumbent is Republican Rob Wittman, who was reelected with 56.3% of the vote in 2024. Wittman, who is declared running again in 2026, currently has roughly $1.875 or so million cash on hand as of March 31st. But the Democrats do have a candidate now officially in the race, with Amanda Pohl, a Chesterfield County Clerk of Court and nominee for SD 11 in 2019. That's Virginia's 11th Senate District. So she is officially in this race. This district, according to Cook Politico and Inside Elections, is listed as likely Republican. But this district may be actually a little more competitive on paper than you may be familiar with. The Cook PVI for this district has this district listed at Republican +3 in the latest 2025 Cook PVI, after 2023 where it was listed at Republican +6. So this district has actually trended about 3 points from the last Cook PVI towards the Democratic direction in recent elections. Now, the more in-depth look at this district from 2024, there are several counties in this district. There's Chesterfield, Henrico, Hanover, James City, York, Gloucester, New Kent, King William, Westmoreland, Northumberland, Squagan, I believe, Williamsburg, Lancaster, Middlesex, Essex, Matthews, King and Queen, and Richmond. And several of these counties from Northumberland down are all under 10,000 votes or so in 2024, with several of them also being in the mid tens of thousands of votes as well. The two largest counties overall in this district are Chesterfield and Henrico, and these are the key areas to really watch for in terms of the top toss-up areas of this district. Chesterfield, which is the largest county by population right here, ended up going for Wittman by about 3 points, or about 4 points, in 2024, and gave him a net overall gain of 4,000 votes. Henrico, which is right outside of Richmond, ended up going 54-46 for the Democratic candidate and gave the Democrat a margin of roughly 9,000 votes. So of these two districts, it gave the Democrats overall about an advantage of roughly about 4 to 5,000 vote gains out of these two. But when you look at all the other districts and the votes added up combined, even though they're much smaller than these areas, it ends up with the Republican vote margins in these other districts. For instance, like Hanover giving an extra 9,000 to Wittman, New Kent giving an extra 6,000, James City an extra 2,000, York an extra 6,000, Williamsburg gives an extra 3,000 or so for the Democrat, but these other areas, these few thousands of votes and few hundreds of votes add up enough over time when all the votes are added together to make up for the Democratic gains and advantages in Henrico County and in Williamsburg County, these being the only two Democratic counties in this district in 2024. So the Democrats' problem for this district is that the surrounding areas outside of Henrico and Williamsburg, a lot of them are either strongly Republican, or in the case of James City and Chesterfield, are very strongly Republican. So the Democrats, to win this district, have to find a way to make these areas less Republican and also cut into the margins, and likely having to win the less Republican areas of Chesterfield and Essex and Lancaster and James City, these areas that were a little bit less on the percentages compared to the other areas. That's going to be a very tough task for the Democrats to do in such an overpowering Republican district. And that's why when you look at the recent election results in 2024, Rob Wittman won by 12.8%. In this district, a likely Republican win. Wittman got about 269,657 votes. The Democrat Leslie Mehta got 208,445. So roughly about a 60,000 vote win for Wittman over Mehta in this district. Again, in large part, as I mentioned, due to these Republican areas and their vote margins after all the votes are counted, overpowering the Democratic vote margins out of those two key counties for the Democrats. Back in 2022, the first election after the 2020 census, Wittman won by 13%. So the district did go down 0.2% away from the Republicans from 2022 to 2024. Wittman still won by a likely Republican margin, though with less voter turnout, seeing as it was a midterm year. Wittman got 191,828 votes. Herb Jones, the Democrat, got 147,229 votes. So again, a very sizable lead and win for Wittman, the Republican. This district back in 2020, prior to the 2020 census, was also a safe Republican district at 16.4% for Wittman in 2020. And this district, Wittman won 58.2% to 41.7% in here. And lastly, in 2018, the last time there was a Democratic wave year expected midterm, like we're supposed to be getting in 2026, Wittman won by 10.5% over his Democratic opponent, Williams. Wittman got 183,000 votes. Vanjie Williams got 148. So this district, over the last few election cycles now, over the last 4, has been a consistent, likely Republican district in all 4 elections. So why are the Democrats hoping to make this race competitive when the track record has been that it probably won't be? Well, the one big advantage the Democrats may have in this district overall could be the election environment for 2026. Right now, the Cook PV, or the generic ballot for 2026 for the U.S. House, Democrats currently lead by 2.6. But an Atlas Intel poll, which showed Democrats +9, gave the Republicans a lot of pause. Because if the Democrats are winning the House overall by 9 points nationwide, that would be pretty much on par with what 2018 was, where Democrats won overall of the House vote 53.4%, Republicans 44.8%. It was roughly about an 8.5% win for the Democrats in 2018. If the Democrats are replicating this in 2026, for instance, this district, I'm not sold, even if that were the case, that Virginia 1 would be going in the Democratic category. But if this margin of victory was under 10 points and it was more of a competitive district, that's likely a carryover sign that a lot of other districts that are very close could potentially be competitive as well. For instance, Virginia's 2nd district with Republican Jen Kiggins, if this is a 4-point Republican win in 2024, but the Democrats are winning the House by 9 points in 2026, well, then it's very possible that carryover effect could be having this district be flipping to the Democrats. Virginia 7, which was very close in 2024, may be a sure Democratic win in 2026, similarly with Virginia 10 as well. So the election environment for 2026, if the Democrats have a wave election year, like many Democrats are hoping and predicting will happen, then it could have a big effect on likely Republican races like Virginia 1, but could also have an effect on lean and toss-up races as well, like Virginia 2. And that's really the main takeaway here. Otherwise, for this district, there's really not too much on paper that suggests this district is going to be very competitive. In 2026, it is listed as likely Republican. And again, barring an election environment like that, I think it's probably going to remain that way. And again, just a large reason being the way the district is constructed, where the only Democratic areas are Henrico and Williamsburg, and everything else is pretty much solidly Republican. The only way it could become competitive is if Chesterfield were to go Democratic as the largest county in the state, and would have to do so by a pretty significant margin for the race to really get close. And they would likely need some help as well from James City to also make the margins better for the Democrats as well. So I don't think this district's going to be too competitive in 2026, but if the election environment goes the way the Democrats hope, it's possible at the end of the day that it could go under 10 points. I don't think it goes below 5, but it could go below 10 and maybe a little bit more competitive than expected. For 2026, I do have this race starting out as likely Republican. I do agree with the consensus rankings, and I think that's how it will probably remain going into 2026, but we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. Leave a comment below, tell me your thoughts and any other video suggestions or ideas that you have. I like to read the comments and check all those out, so I hope you will leave some suggestions. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please remember to hit like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in a future video.